would walking as an exercise be making us fat, depressed, unhappy? Seems like a ridiculous thing to say, and of course the answer would be no, because walking's awesome and everybody feels better after they go for a walk. But something to consider in a world where humans are fatter, sicker, weaker, more depressed, more diseased than we've ever been, walking is one of the most popular exercises. Doctors recommend go for a 30-minute walk every day. It seems that walking is the go-to exercise prescription if you want to supposedly lose weight, be healthy, be happy. But it doesn't seem to be working. So there's one of two things. Either people aren't walking or walking isn't working. So I wonder which one it is. So I always analyse everything. I'm an exercise professional. I've been an exercise professional all of my life. I don't use walking as exercise, and here's the reason why. When you go for a walk, you're not doing much more, unless you're really overweight, unless you're a really big person and you get puffed when you go walking. Nothing's really happening when you go walking. You're not burning many more calories than if you were sitting down. But what happens is people go for a walk. I've been out for half an hour, I've been out for 45 minutes, I've been out for an hour's walk. I deserve a little reward. So normally if they'd only have one cookie, they end up having two. They normally have one beer, they end up having two. Because I've been for this big, long exercise session, I've been for a walk for an hour. But if you have a look at what's happened to the human body while you've been walking, the answer is not much. Nothing's really changed. Your heart rate hasn't really gone up. Yes, you're outside in the fresh air and sunshine. And I love walking. I love it. I live in the South Island of New Zealand. We go walking all the time. But technically our walking's a little bit different. We go hiking, so we go up and down hills. Every time I see a hill, I run up it. I often walk with my dogs. And my dogs don't walk, they run. So I run up the hills with them. We get puffed when we go up the hills. And then when we go down the hills, I'm putting pressure through my bones, pressure through my muscles. And as I always share, up for your heart, down for your bones. So should we use walking as an exercise program, and could it be making us unhappy as well as unhealthy? And my answer to that is be careful. Because if you're going out for a walk to lose weight, be healthy, have a great body, be in great shape, and it's not working for you, your walking could actually make you unhappy. It could make you depressed. I go walking every day for an hour and nothing's changed. Even if you eat exactly the same thing and you go walking for an hour, not too much has changed. The reverse of that, if you do 10 seconds of high intense activity, so you punch a bag, you kick a bag, you sprint on the spot, you do jump squats, you run up some stairs, run up a hill, run through some soft sand, you lift something heavy, and you get really puffed and you overload your muscles at 100% effort, and that only takes 10 seconds, and I bang on about this every day. But when you have a look at the anatomy and physiology of the human body, and I wish more people would do that, because you've got to live in this thing for the rest of your life, why not study how it works? And there's three energy systems, we get energy to do the stuff that we need to do from three places: the phosphate system, the lactate system, and the aerobic system. And we live in the aerobic system. That's where we breathe in oxygen, breathe out carbon dioxide, we burn carbohydrate and fat, a little bit of protein, and we live there 24/7. So if you go for a walk, that's exactly the system that you're using. You're using your aerobic system. Breathe in oxygen, breathe out carbon dioxide, burn a little bit of protein, the rest is carbohydrate and fat. But at a very slow rate, because when you walk, you're not going very fast, so you don't burn calories very fast, you don't burn energy very fast. When you work in the lactate system, and I don't like it very much because it's the one that produces burning sensations in your muscles, if you're not very fit and you don't have a resistance to that lactate system, you also feel sick. That's why it's called the green zone. So I love the phosphate system. I love it because the phosphate system is only 10 seconds. It's technically called the fight and flight system. You probably heard about it in high school when you were studying biology, or you were studying even sociology. How did humans evolve? We were designed that if an animal was chasing, or we are designed, if an animal's chasing us, a wild one or a wild tribe, or we're under threat, our body's designed to get out of there really quickly to survive. It's called the hormonal system, your endocrine system, so that you don't die. So you can fight and flight so you don't die, so you thrive, so you can reproduce. That's why humans exist. Isn't that exciting? So that we don't die. So this system is designed to give you everything you need if your body's under threat. Now, we don't have too many wild animals chasing us anymore, and we don't have too many wild tribes chasing us anymore, but we are under threat. We're under stress. We have horrible things happen. We have money challenges. We have relationship challenges. We have horrible bosses. Things happen in our lives where we do produce stress, and our body still gets into that fight and flight system. But what we don't seem to do anymore to get out of there, out of that threatful situation, is fight or flight. We tend to drink or take drugs or smoke or shop or gamble or get onto social media rather than fighting or flighting. But when you fight and flight, it's 100% effort, everything you need to get away from the threat. And it's only short, it's only 10 seconds. But when you get into that fight and flight system, everything changes. Now, the interesting thing is, compared to walking, again, you still don't burn very many calories, but you change your body. Walking doesn't change your body. The fight and flight system changes not just your physical body, because you're putting it under 100% effort. It's the only energy system where you use 100% effort, but it puts your brain under threat. Your brain says, we could die, so we've got to be better for next time. Your muscles, your bones, your heart, your lungs, your endocrine system, central nervous system, even your digestive system and your immune system needs to be better for next time. So your brain produces brain-derived neurotropic factor, which is fertilizer for your brain, so you can be better for next time. Your muscles send a message back to the brain that it's called the myokine system in the endocrine system to say, we were under threat, we've got to be stronger for next time, we've got to be better for next time so that we don't die. And your brain then produces, I call them happy drugs, the ultimate way to feel fantastic, which is dopamine for the reward system, serotonin for the satisfaction system. Endorphins are pain-killing happy drugs so that you can get away from the threat, and your whole brain changes. When you go for a walk, you might feel better because you've been out in the fresh air and sunshine, but it's suggested perhaps that it's the fresh air and sunshine, not the walk, that makes the difference. You've got to put your body under pressure. You've got to put your body under threat. You've got to put your body under a challenge for it to change. And walking, we're designed to do for hours and hours. And you can walk for hours and hours, even if you're unfit. If you had to, you could walk for 3, 4, 5 hours because you can just keep going. But you can't exercise at 100% effort, or you can't do anything at 100% effort for more than 10 seconds. But when you do something really, really hard at 100% effort for 10 seconds, your whole body changes. So, yes, I love hiking. Yes, I love walking. Yes, I love being outside in the fresh air and sunshine. But I want a body that's so fit and so strong that doesn't matter what happens to me, I can handle it mentally or physically. And that doesn't come from going for a walk. When you, if you want to talk about being healthy, if you want to talk about having a body that's lean and fit and strong and energetic and looks amazing, you have to make changes. You have to put your body under challenge. And if you go at 100% effort when you lift something, if you go at 100% effort when you get puffed, you don't burn very many calories because it's only 10 seconds. But you change your whole physiology. You turn your body literally into a fat-burning machine when you're resting. And for most people, in fact, I think every human person on the planet, we rest more than we exercise at 100% effort. So when you're resting, when you're sitting, when you're lying down, when you're doing nothing, wouldn't it be great, awesome, amazing to have a body that's a fat-burning machine? And that happens by changing your respiratory quotient, your RQ, which is where the calories are coming from. And when you exercise slowly, when you go for a walk, you don't change your RQ, it just stays the same. When you're walking, you burn a little bit of protein, mostly carbohydrate and fat. When you exercise really hard, you don't burn any fat, you don't burn any protein, you burn stored phosphates and carbohydrate. And there's only a small storage system inside your body for carbohydrate. It's about 0.5 kilo at the absolute most. So what happens is your body says, if you're going to keep putting me under threat, we're going to save the carbohydrate for when we're under threat. We're going to save the carbohydrate for when you work really hard at 100% effort. So for the rest of the time, for 23 plus hours every day, we're going to make sure that your body's a fat-burning machine. So your body turns your RQ, your respiratory quotient, turns into a body that prefers to burn fat when you're resting to save the carbohydrate for when you're exercising at high intensity. That's the difference between it. And people say, oh, it's better to do nothing. Better to do something than nothing. It's better to go for a slow plod jog or a long walk than it is to do nothing. Technically, that may be true, but I'm not sure that it is, because I'm going to go back to the little reward system. If you didn't do any work at all, no exercise at all, and you stayed home, you might not eat 3 or 4 cookies. You might just have 1. But if you went out for a long, slow walk or a plod jog, you might come home and have 3 or 4 cookies because I deserve it. I deserve the reward. Well, that's how we get fat. And if you get fat, that's also how you get unhappy. Because if your body's not functioning effectively, and unfortunately, fat bodies don't function effectively. You can say, can I be fit and fat? And yes, the answer is yes. But the human body would still function better if it was fit and lean. Having excess body fat to carry around is an extra load that we don't need. And if you're going out for a walk to burn body fat, it's not very effective because you burn calories very, very slowly. But you're not changing anything in your body. So to answer my initial question, could walking be making us fatter and more unhappy? Could we be less healthy and less happy because we use walking as an exercise? And I think it's something to consider. I'm not saying yes or no. I'm just asking, please consider that if you want to be healthy, fit and strong for the rest of your life, and if you're an adult, you can do whatever you want, of course. But I'm concerned about our kids. I would love our kids to be fit and strong and lean and healthy and mentally tough for the rest of their lives. And that doesn't come from walking. I love watching kids running around. I love watching kids jumping. I love watching kids playing on the monkey bars. I love watching kids rolling and backflipping and working at 100% effort, because that's the child that's going to turn into a fit, strong, healthy, mentally tough adult. If we get our kids walking for exercise, we're not changing anything about their body. I don't even know what that's about. Let's go for a walk should really be just a form of transport. Rather than getting in the car, how about we walk to the shop? Rather than getting on a bike where you're sitting down on your backside. I'm not a fan of the bike riding for exercise either, because you're sitting down. The human body is designed to be in the upright position, and if you want to be really healthy, fit and strong, you need to work at 100% effort to get 100% result. That comes from the fight and flight system. It's only 10 seconds. Isn't that awesome? To get fit and get strong and get lean and be energetic for the rest of your life, your exercise session only needs to be 10 seconds at 100% effort. I think that's really exciting. So if you want to live your life to the max, how about get fit, get strong, and work at 100% effort? And then it's not even work because it's only 10 seconds, and you feel fantastic for the rest of the day because you've changed your brain. And then you can live your life to the max. Super-duper-doo, how are you? Living my life to the max. Woo!